Hello everyone, in Python tutorial for beginner series. In this video tutorial, I will discuss with you about list data types. A list is a collection of values which is ordered and changeable. All the values in Python list are written within square brackets and each value is separated by commas. The important thing about a list is that values in a list need not be of the same data type. A single list can contain numbers, letters, strings, objects, and even the nested list as well. As a list is a collection of values where each value in the list has an assigned index value. An index of the first value in the list is start from 0. List is a mutable. We can change its contents, like we can edit the value, add or delete the values in the list. Okay, so we can create the list in this way. For example, I have created list which is having person details like his employee ID, name, age, country, skills, etc. Okay, so this is the list which is created. Now the next step is how to access this list and their values. Okay, so first we will see how to access this list. For that, just call the list name which is person and press enter. So we can see here the list person is having these 5 values. Right, now the next thing is how to access particular values from the Python list. So to access, I can use the index in Python for the list, which indicates the position of the values in my list. Okay, so in this list, first value is 1021, which is integer data type, whose position is at index 0. As I told, index starts from 0. Then next value Gaurav, which is string data type, and it is at index 1. Similarly, next value at index 3, and so on. So on the basis of this index value, we can access these values. For example, I want to access or print second value called Gaurav from the list. So I can just write the name of my list person and then just give the index. So the index 1 is for Gaurav, right? And when I press enter, it returns me the value Gaurav, right? So similarly, we can access any value like this with the help of index. Apart from this way, to access values from the list, there is another interesting way to access values from the list in Python, is that you can even have index from backward index also, right? So the forward index starts from left side to right side, which starts from 0, 1, 2, 3 like this, and the backward index starts from right side to left side, which starts from -1, -2, -3 and so on. So this value Python is at index -1, this value India is at index -2 and so on. So we can access these values on the basis of backward index also. For example, I want to access value Python on the basis of backward index. I can just write person -1, enter, and it returns value Python. Similarly, person -4, it returns value Gaurav. Okay, so always remember, forward index starts from 0, 1, 2 from left to right, and backward index starts from -1, -2, -3 from right to left. So in this way, we can access single values from the list using forward index or backward index. Now, if we want to access more than one value, so you can access the more than one value using the slicing operator, colon operator. For example, if I want to access value from first index to fourth index, I can write 1:4 and enter, and it returns Gaurav 35.5 India Python, all the 4 values from index 1 to index 4. If I write :4 only, then it returns the value from starting to fourth index. Similarly, if I write 1:, then it returns all the values from first index to end. If I didn't mention anything, only colon, then it returns from beginning to end. Similarly, we can also use backward index like -5, -1. So it returns 1021 Gaurav 35.5 India. Okay, so this is about access the values from the list using index. Now, as I told, list is mutable. So we can change, add or delete any element from the list. So in order to change any value from the list, we can write list name and then index position, on which index you want to change the value, then equal to your new value. For example, in my case, I want to change value Python to Java at index 4. So I can write person index 4 equals to Java, then enter, and now just print the updated list, print person. So we can see here Java is updated in place of Python at index 4. Okay, now if I want to add more values in this list, so in order to add more values in this list, what you can do is you need to call your list name and then just write dot and just write append, and in the brackets you just need to pass the value which you want to add in your list. So I want to add C++ to my list. So this append function, which is a inbuilt function in Python, has appended or added one value to my person list. And now when I press enter and I print person list, it has 6 values. We can see here newly added value C++ added in my person list. So we can see this C++ value is added in the end of the list. If you want to add value at particular position, what you can do is you need to call first your list name called person, then dot and just write insert, and in the bracket you just need to pass 2 arguments. First argument is index position where you want to add, and second argument is new value which you want to be add at respective index position in your list. So I want to add mobile number at index 2. So this insert function, which is also a built-in function in Python to insert values at the any index position mentioned in its argument, right? And now I press enter. When I print person list, it has 7 values, and we can see here newly added value mobile number which is added at index 2 in my person list. Okay, now let's say you want to add new list into a list. For example, I have some other list called languages, and in that list I have some known languages like English, Hindi, French and German. Okay, so now I have 2 lists. I have a list person details and I have a list of languages. Right, now I want to add this language list to my person list. How can I add? I can just write person, which is the list name, dot extend, and in the bracket you pass your second list. So you can pass language list like this and press enter. And when I print person list, now person list have 11 values. And we can see here we have extra list language values here. Okay, and we can see the special feature of Python list is it contains different data types. Like this list contains integer value, string value, also or float value or any other data type values. Similarly, we can use other built-in functions to play with list for different purposes. Like if you want to remove any item from the list, so to remove out item from a list, what we need to do is first I am calling list name called person dot and just write remove. And in the bracket, I will give the value which I want to remove. In my case, I want to remove French from the list. Okay, just press enter, and when I print person list again, now we can see the value French is gone from the list. Right, so this function will remove the first occurrence of the value which is mentioned in its argument. For example, if same value is present 2 times in the same list, this function will delete the first occurrence of the same value, not the second one. Okay, similarly we can use pop function. This method deletes the value at the position mentioned in its argument. If you want to know how many items are there in your list, you can use length function. In the argument, you need to pass the name of the list. For example, in my case, I have passed my list name called person and then press enter. So it will give me 10. So here we have 10 items in my list. If you want to reverse all the values of the list, you can use reverse function. Okay, we can also use shorts function to keep the values in increasing order. But if I use this function with my existing list, it will give me error. It will not work in my case because person list is a mixed list with different data types. Like in my list, I have integer value, float value, string value, or different data types. So to use this function, we have a list which is having the same data type called roll number, which is having these values 25, 55, 65, 12, 48. Okay, so this list is having all the values of same data type, integer type. Now I'll call short function using my list called roll number and then press enter. And now print roll number list here. So here we can see all the values are increasing order. Similarly, we can use max function to find the largest value in the list like this. So here it returns 65, which is the largest value in the list. Okay. We can also use clear function to erase all the values of the list. After this operation, list become empty. So in this way, we can apply built-in functions to use list in Python. I hope you understand this concept. I hope you like this video. So please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.